Talks on the Tide is a series of discussions that ran on the beaches of Wexford in late summer 2025. These talks were a companion piece to the House on the Beach exhibition by artist Nina McGowan that was displayed at Wexford County Council headquarters. The exhibition itself was a series of fire-charred wardrobes stacked to create imposing tall towers that you could walk around. The charring was done to expose the centuries-old carbon wrapped in these common household items. These talks on the Tide addressed different challenges of the ongoing climate emergency, presenting solutions and inviting discussion. A black charred kitchen table surrounded by 6 matching chairs was set up on the beach, and guest speakers were invited to talk to the theme of the day. All talks were chaired by Mary Coakley.
We have a room on the beach, I suppose you would say, with this charred table and chairs. And the idea over the next 4 weeks is we have conversations at beaches, listening to people and, to hear different perspectives on the challenges and the approaches, solutions that we can take either individually or collectively.
Today we're on a small beach in Rosslare Harbour. It's just to the right of the terminal building. It's something of a hidden gem. Some savvy surfers know a nice wave break that comes in here when conditions are just right. Sitting on this wonderful slice of sandy heaven really helps you appreciate our natural resources and focuses the mind on what's important. Today, it's all about wood, from forest to its endless and surprising uses. We heard about how wood is being used to make plastic-like materials. This came from Colm Faulkner, project manager at the Amber Research Lab in Trinity College, Dublin.
How to make bioplastic from wood. So instead of making plastics from oils, they're researching ways to use the carbon from wood to make more sustainable packaging and plastics for the future.
Nina McGowan, the artist behind this project, also joined us today.
And coming together in conversation, and especially in places like beaches, where you can get up to all kinds of weird things. People strip off, it's a liminal site in terms of social activity, in as much as it is a liminal contested environmental site.
Forester Paddy Bruton of Forestry Services Ltd was here.
I believe in forestry. It can contribute massively to climate change in Ireland. It also prevents rural depopulation by putting money into rural Ireland. Many of those 12,000 jobs are in rural areas where there isn't much other employment.
We will also hear from some people that attended today's discussion.
I think it was brilliant. I really did. I mean, especially about timber and all that sort of thing. I didn't know anything.
But firstly, I'll invite Nina McGowan to talk a bit about herself, how she got involved and what her vision is for this chart. Why a charred table and chairs?
Okay, well, thanks, Mary, and thanks, everybody, for coming here to this beautiful beach. It's the site where we had chosen to put the house on the beach, and the house was going to be a stand-in for our home. A house on a beach is really a metaphor for home on the brink. The idea that the climate apocalypse that we're facing at the moment are so huge that we can't quite grasp them. So the idea is to make something quite intimate, something that is very regular and something that we can that we understand in a very domestic and ordinary way into something that seems like it's in danger.
As the tide inched its way towards our room on the beach, Paddy Bruton gave us some details on how much wood we grow here in Ireland.
I'm a forester, almost 30 years now, which is frightening to say. And many people in Ireland confuse forestry in Ireland as being all state-owned. It's not. We're the first company in 2019 to secure FSC and PEFC status for forest management in Ireland. We were set up in 1985, so the forests we started to plant in 1985 and onwards, they started to come into the production phase. That supply of timber for home construction and for all the other uses is increasing from 1 million cubic metres in the private sector in 2021 to 4.7 million cubic metres per annum by 2028. So we have the timber. And that's why it has been a phenomenal success. And that timber is renewable, because as those forests are harvested, we step back in to replant them. So it's renewable timber that's constantly generated.
Colm Faulkner was keen to jump in.
Yeah, so just on that, basically around 1900 we were only 1% forest cover, okay? So over the last century Ireland has reforested faster than any other country in Europe, and our goal is to be at 18% by 2050. Ireland is one of the best places in the whole world for forests to grow because it's a cracking day here on the beach, but because of our climate and the rain, we have some of the fastest growing forests in the whole world. So some of our researchers in Trinity College are researching how to make transparent wood for windows and for other similar applications.
Nina was saying that people were trying to get rid of wardrobes from old houses. You know, they're too big and they don't fit into their smaller, newer IKEA houses. Which is an interesting idea in itself, you know, that we don't value these.
They were sourced for the most part for free. So I had a little kind of alert on adverts saying whenever one came up for free, and I was looking for the older style ones because I wanted to show the sedimented history. And you see that they're towers, even like the mahogany that a lot of these wardrobes were made from. They're exotic woods that you can't import to Ireland anymore because they're so rare, and yet we put them into skips.
Some of the locals attending the talk had questions of their own.
Thanks so much, that's so interesting. I'm wondering around like the negativity I know for me a lot of the kind of like more negative views I would hear be about say like kind of maybe like quilcha kind of forestry and the idea of like non-native kind of like species. So in terms of like, you know, making it profitable for the private sector and having like the use of that like timber, what is the balance in your view between the idea of like native versus non-native species, and how do we like reconcile that?
Good question. So I think most people, I wouldn't label it quilcha forest, right? Just to call that, because the species you're referring to is Sitka spruce, right? It's the conifer species. And like, I'm fairly sure I'm right on this, but about 52% of the forests in Ireland are Sitka spruce, right? And Sitka spruce is the dairy cow of Irish forests. If all of you go home this evening, right, please go up on your attics, because the timber that's holding up the roof in your house is Sitka spruce. Now, again, people don't connect Sitka spruce to the roof over their heads. And if it's not Sitka spruce, it's Norway spruce. And the reason it is that spruce timber is as follows. It grows straight in the forest, right? It grows fast, right? Because it grows straight and it grows fast, right? It is the most economic, right? So typically in Ireland, because of our excellent growing conditions, we can produce a rotation of Sitka spruce between 30 and 40 years. And that then provides the timber for home construction.
So in terms of it being a native Irish industry, is there more government can do to make it circular by having stuff grown in Ireland that gets bought in Ireland, put into Irish building? I'm wondering around that area of the conversation, I guess.
The first thing is, I'll just echo what Colm said. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? And we are, in the private sector, a very young sector, right? But there's a few things happening. First of all, Minister Healy-Rae has just introduced a timber first policy for Ireland. That's a first, and that has to help, right?
The conversations continued and the tide made its way up the beach. But before everyone went to see Nina's exhibition in the county hall, there were some parting words of encouragement and people had a chance to reflect on the gathering.
Let's see if, you know, you're not involved already in climate action. Are there things you could do to get involved?
Or how many people here have planted a tree? Just to plant a tree is something very practical that we can all do to have in our house or in our home. It's very good for your health as much as anything else.
It's opened your eyes to the possibilities of what you can do in your own small space. Sunny day here in Wexford and by the sea, and just the sound of the sea is fabulous. I think it was brilliant. I really did. I mean, especially about timber and all that sort of thing. I didn't know anything really about it. I knew trees were there and all the rest of it, but I didn't actually know it's a big business.
Yeah, well, even I was looking around as the speakers were talking. I was going, people have got a smile in their face. They're chilled, they're relaxed. They're not around, who wants to be sitting in a lecture room in Trinity when you can be out by the beach in Wexford? This is gorgeous. It's beautiful. And so I think when you're relaxed, you feel more open to hearing things. You're more relaxed about asking questions. It's not a formal environment. It's a really relaxed, sociable, beautiful environment, talking to friends, really.
In all, there are 4 talks in this series that took place on the beaches of Wexford. You will find links to all the talks in the description. The House on the Beach project was a recipient of the Creative Climate Action Fund, an initiative from the Creative Ireland programme. With thanks to Wexford County Council's Climate Action and Culture teams, staff from Trinity College Dublin, artist Nina McGowan. Check out her work at ninamcgowan.com. This is a Crannog Media production.